What's happening? What's up? I'm Omar. Welcome to the channel. If you like the content, even if you don't necessarily agree with me on this particular subject, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video and go ahead and share it with your friends for me, please. Alright, so what we're going to talk about today. Alright, so you've seen it in the thumbnail. We are talking about setting boundaries and setting expectations. So what exactly is expectations? Essentially, it's telling another person how to treat you. It is telling another person what you will and will not accept. So I'm a firm believer that everybody should have their list of expectations, their list of boundaries. So after this video, if you're going to take anything with you, if you don't have yours set up, go ahead and set you some boundaries and expectations. But after we talk about it for a little bit, if you also feel, maybe I need to make some adjustments, go ahead and do that as well. So that's going to be one takeaway I want everyone to do. Set you a list of boundaries and expectations. So really think about it like this. For your boundaries, this is what you're saying. This is my list of things that I don't like. When someone does me this way, it either hurts my feelings, it pisses me off, whatever you want to say. These are the bad things. So that's your boundaries. On the expectations, what you're going to do is you're going to say, these things make me happy. When someone does this for me, I smile. So that's what we want to do. Go ahead and set those boundaries and expectations. So when someone starts going into your boundaries or not meeting your expectations enough way, but you already wrote a list of this is bad. You wrote a list saying I don't like, but let someone continue to go in there, that's on you. So, and I'll say it like this. And I was telling my friend the other day, we were talking about some guys like to have sex on, the first date. For me, you got to applaud, buddy. That man, he sets his expectations and he follows through. Let's say your expectations is I'm not having sexual intercourse before the third or fourth date. And you're wondering about what you going to do. How am I going to navigate it? I really like this dude. We done had a couple of good conversations. I want to see where this can go. When you don't meet his expectations, what you think he going to do? He riding. So I respect somebody who, hey, my expectations is this, and the third. And if you ain't doing it, I'm leaving. You got to respect him. But that just means that also goes to show you this. If nobody's going to abandon their expectations for you, why should you be abandoning your expectations for anyone else? This is what we also want to talk about when we speak on expectations is managing your expectations and also managing, your boundaries. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't set yourself up that I've been dating for the last 10, 15 years and only one person was able to meet these expectations. When I'm saying managing your expectations, I'm not saying lowering your standards. I'm not even saying get rid of some of your expectations. Also give someone the opportunity to meet those expectations. Give someone the opportunities to correct the fact that they did cross your boundaries. Because what is negative to you may not have been negative in my past relationship. What you expected, no one in the past has expected that. That's not saying I'm not willing to change it. You set your boundaries and you set your expectations, but allow someone to reach them. Me and you, we're getting to know each other. That's not the way I operate right now, but I understand that's how you like it. Give me time to grow with it. Understand that it's not necessarily always going to happen at one point in time. When to talk about your expectations. I know that's a difficult conversation, but we want to talk about it earlier because with expectations and boundaries, it's much easier when we're talking from a place of trying to give clarity and understanding rather than we're talking about with resentment and contempt towards that person. So that's why I say you want to get that conversation as far as your boundaries, your expectations out as soon as possible. Unless you've had that conversation, I didn't know. It may seem like I should know, but I didn't know. I appreciate you telling me. I appreciate you understanding it wasn't intentional, and now give me the opportunity to show you that I can change and I can meet those expectations. It's not I'm just a bad person. So that's what I say when you say you want to go back a little further on setting your boundaries and expectations. So one expectation I believe everybody should have is on time. So what we're going to talk a little bit with the time situation is you got to let a person know, how much time you expect them to spend with you as far as face to face. And have an expectation as far as how much time you expect someone to spend with you, talking on the phone with you. Some people, they like to text and talk throughout the day. Some people, that's not my thing. But I'm going to get you on the phone later on. And I'm going to say this will come up in the communication portion. But a person should be talking to you. If they're really trying to get to know you 3 or 4 times a week, minimal. And if they ain't trying to get to know you, are they that busy? You got to think about it. Do they have enough time in their life for me for what I want? that and manage that. If you feel like I can deal with the reason they're giving me and it's a legitimate reason that you're willing to make be in certain things, cool, I can understand that. But what I'm saying is expect someone who's really trying to get to know you, to spend time talking to you, to want to spend a couple of days a week with you. If they have this going on Saturday, I got a game I'm watching with my homeboys on Saturday, I got this I'm going with my girls on Sunday. You know we do Sunday brunch, and you talking to her every 2 weeks, man. Also, with that boundary of time, a lot of people try to take up all your time. You got to let people know I got things I got to do with my family. I got my own job I got to do. I want to go to the gym. I want to have my own friends. Sometimes I just want to chill out. You can't have all my time. And, you know, it's the funniest thing about a meme, right? That meme going around, everybody done seen it, where a dude be like, yo, I done spent 7 days of my week with her, and I'm about to go spend an hour to go hang with my homeboys, and they show the little girl with the tears in her eye. Man, don't be that person. But also, don't let no one be that person for you. Man, I had one of my female friends tell me that a dude was like upset because she went to get her hair done. He like come on, man, she looking good for you, and you tripping about how long she go. Yo, I can't understand it, but that's where we're going to set your expectations as far as how much time they're going to spend with you, and set your boundaries with your time. What sort of communication do you want? What works best for you? What means of conversation are you going to use? For me, like I said, for one, we got to see each other. If I'm hanging out with you by week 3 or whatever, and you spotty, I see you maybe once a week, we can't hang out, we ain't really doing much together, we pick up, we may have a drink together and go, that's not for me. It could be for everybody else. It don't work for me. So I want that type of communication. I want to talk to you. Tell me about what your day was like, man. So one, I'm going back to that texting thing. You let somebody text you instead of talking to you, man, you don't know anything about that person other than surface level. They don't know anything about you other than surface level. Don't be upset. When things don't work out because you didn't really know anything about that person, I can just show you a little bit of me. And then 3 months later, you be like, they changed. No, I ain't really changed. We ain't never talked. You ain't know nothing about me. Now you upset? Man, I'm the same swell guy I always been. Let's go back to texting. I'm tripping with that one too, right? Again, with the communication, it's how the means of communication we're gonna have, the way we talk to each other. Hey, some people they can cross that line. I don't really like to get that line crossed on me too much. That's just not my thing. A lot of people, I hear they can talk about their celebrities crush. Hey man, for me, and I'm just being me. Me, you can mention it every now and then, but you know I don't really care what about him every single day. So you're not gonna talk to me too often about it. But like I said, people have that conversation. Me, I ain't really gonna talk about the pretend girlfriend, like, cause I'm focused really on you. If you want to be honest about you, you know, all I care about is looking at my baby. Ain't no other woman existing. And I'm going to go ahead and reel that in because I'm getting off topic. But the next thing I'm going to talk about is going to be commitment. Your expectations and your boundaries with commitments. Now, with your boundaries, with your commitment and your expectations, how long I expect to date a person before they decide that I'm good enough to give me a chance of exclusivity? I hope I said that word right. But how long you gonna date? You gonna date me for 3 months before you decide that I'm the only person you want to date? Hey man, that works for some people, not for me. Man, I think I'm a cool motherfucker, really. So I think if you're going out with me, you need to start making this decision kind of quick. I ain't saying we gotta get married, but you're not gonna be hanging. I asked you out on a Saturday, you got plans with a dude. What I look like to you? We got to talk about commitment. What do you want your commitment to look like? Some people have open relationships. I can't be mad at that. Not my thing, but hey, you got to set your expectations on the time as far as the length. Like I'm saying, most of the time we ain't got to be in a relationship. I just want to know that you're focused on me. You're not going to tell me that, you know, you just exploring the market, but now you're not going to have these conversations with me telling me that, you know, you just out here dating just because. Nah, that's not my thing right there. So that's what we're going to get on a little bit on commitment. Your intimacy boundaries. You know, you don't want to not have expectations on this and you always falling for the good person and y'all get that one night stand. And you don't want to be that person, right? Because now I'm not saying that having a one night stand, y'all can't, well, not even a one night stand, sleeping with someone on the first date. I'm not saying that if you can't sleep with someone on the first date and they don't like you, it's possible. But you ain't got no real data that you done collected on that person. So if you just want to sleep around, cool. But if you're gonna say you like, yo, I want to be serious, I want to be intentional. I'm not trying to just mess with any old body. So I have an intimacy that I'm gonna try to go on this amount of dates, or have these many conversations, or this combination of dates and conversations. At that point in time, you're reducing your risk a little bit. I still can sleep with him, but he's cool. Or man, I would have slept with him, but man, this dude right here kind of a little off for it. Man, this chick right here not my type, and that's cool. But give yourself some times when you set that expectation. That way, when you start crossing the line and you had sex with him on the first night, and by week 3 you find out that damn, he married. But if I would have went to his house, set of expectation that I'm going to a person's house before I sleep with him, then I would have knew he got a whole wife sitting in his front room. He got a whole kid just playing around. Time he walked through the door, daddy, daddy. But you ain't never been to his house because you slept with him on the first day. Now you mad because he lied and told you he was married. Man, that man expectation is that I get to meet me a chick who ain't gonna ask me anything about where I lay my head. I can pop in and pop out. These expectations and these boundaries, they can keep you lonely now. Because everybody's expectations they're not what yours are. Yeah. So be prepared. You tell somebody, you gotta wait 4 days for this thing. A lot of cats getting up out of there. But so I'm not going to talk only on intimacy, but I'm going to say look at your expectations. And when you set your expectations, understand that everybody's not going to be able to meet your expectations. Even if you are reasonable, everybody's not going to try to stay within your boundaries. There's some real jerks in this world. It is what it is, right? And you got to be prepared to walk away. But don't stay in a situation where you're unhappy with it and there's no improvement, or you can't see no improvement in the near future. Then at that point in time, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. But then again, like I said, man, relationships nowadays, when you're setting your boundaries and expectations, sometimes them expectations we got to work on. Man, don't find you a person that I like everything, I love everything about this woman, but she can't cook. All right, man. That lady do bring so much more to the table than cooking. So, your expectations, man, you're ruining your own thing. I want to talk a little bit about before I let it go. When somebody meets your expectations, I think we talk a lot about the negatives in dating and what I don't want or whatever. But what happens when somebody, they are polite enough, they tapped your boundaries, you watch the improvement. You watch that person hit expectations and not even necessarily hit some of the expectations, do way better than anybody else had in your crazy expectation. You got to give that person praise for it. So just kind of like you have a job and they never say anything to you. Every time they come in, they want to talk about nothing but the positives. And all this I done did for this lady, and all you want to talk about is what I forgot to do. So what we don't want to be doing is things such as pointing fingers at what the other sex is doing wrong. Me telling women and learning what women do screwed up. For what? I want to meet me a nice woman. I want to be in love and I want to be happy. So teach me some of the things that I can look at inside. So that's why we're having these conversations. If you have a topic you want to talk about, you have a point of view that you want to add to it, let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to sit here and be mad at a woman. That don't even make sense to me. I know women got flaws. So I guess I'm going on my tangent. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, I know women got flaws, but I also know I got flaws as well. But I also know all I need to do is meet one good person. And then I personally don't care about what these other women got going on. But if I ain't got myself together, man, what is it going to do for me to be able to talk down on everybody, every man? All men are this, all women are that. So, all right, let's talk about it. I'm out of this thing. I'm Omar. I hope you had a good time. Remember, the pleasantries. Even if you didn't agree with me on my take, but you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button and share it with a friend. All right.